All right, we're back. Game 6 of the weekend, facing the host, Clv Barons, Brunswick Automart Arena, Cleveland, Ohio. Game 2 of the day, Game 6 of the weekend. Looking to finish strong. We're expecting high intensity, back and forth hockey. Game 1 of the weekend against the Barons, and then a 4-4 tie. So we're looking for high energy from the jump. Zamboni's on that last lap. Then we'll get underway here. Keys to today's game, much like we saw this morning, got to play a complete 45. Got to be aggressive on the puck. And we got to use our support system. Looking to flip that ice, as I said. Hard to defend moving east to west. Hard to goal keep moving post to post or laterally. So we want to continue to work on hitting that center seam when we can, in between the dots. That 44-foot lane down the center of the ice, and then penetrate and break in to their PSA, aka the house. Try to get pucks and bodies to the net. Hoping for a hard fault battle here. Refs are out setting the nets. We'll take the ice here shortly. PHC coming out of the locker room, running out. Ellie Shaw leading us off today. Miss Shaw will be in the net. Colton Williams, next man out. Joshua Fazio. Dylan Pacelli, sorry. That was Declan Spittle for a second. Billy Maurer. Ethan Nunez. Lucas Sauer. Brady Carr. Max Nurchuk. Johnny Gerbevec. James Arbisky. And then we'll break with Nasty, Spittle, Witten, and Hell Dog, Logan Pucciarero. Trying to bring that high-paced energy to this one. Warm up to start. Ellie Shaw will have the crease today in the afternoon tilt. Again, we'll go over keys of the game. Much like I said this morning, we got to play 45 minutes. We got to continue working on our journey, learning how to win. It takes a full 45 minutes of hustle, effort, and heart. So we got to play heavy on the puck. We got to move that puck and try to hit the weak side and center seams when we can. Hard to defend, even harder to goal keep moving laterally. So it's going to come down to effort. The Barons slept in their own beds last night. This is their first game of the day, our second. PHC's in the Road Blues, finishing the weekend. The 6th tilt out here in Cleveland, coming screen left to right. The Barons are in their home whites. The home team, the host, they're coming screen right to left in their home whites. So it's going to take a full team effort here. High energy, fast paced. Hockey is expected. We'll give a live shout out before this one gets underway to our 2016 team who was out here with us. They had a successful weekend. They battled hard. Shout out goes to their head coach, who I was told is listening to our stream. Justin D. Gaetano is probably halfway home, traveling at over 100 miles per hour down the turnpike. But good weekend, Coach. Thanks for the support. And we'll look to see you in my favorite place, Dunlop's Bar and Grill, Hollydale Arena. Want to apologize for this broadcast early. One-man band, so I'm working camera and microphone. So if there is IT issues, it's all on me. Another big shout out to the Junior Rebels 2018. The Junior Rebels 2018 team, the minor team's been putting in the hard work. We got some little bros and little sisters on that team of some of our PHC players, and they are the one of the up-and-coming classes. They went 2-0 this weekend in the AHF, taking down the Westchester Wolverines and the Penn Southern Pilots in consecutive home games. Give another shout out to another individual, this team member. When I say individual, it comes in the animal form. Big shout out to Fred. Johnny Gerberbeck's dog, Fred, usually at the rink wearing a PHC sweater. He did not make the road trip with us, but I know he's got some support at home in New Jersey. Big shout out to Fred. Everyone loves Fred. Hang with us. We'll be ready to drop this puck here any minute. Here's we're playing 14-minute periods rather than the standard 15. A little bit behind schedule. I think the rank manager is trying to catch us up, possibly. As the last game played 14 minutes still, unless the Cleveland Browns are done for the day. They played overseas. The Eagles are on right now, so Cleveland fans aren't trying to get home. I guess we're shortening the period just to try to catch the rink up. But we're ready to go. Coach Sauer sends out Ellie Shaw into the net. We got Max Nasty. That's Maximus Roach. Joel Pacelli, Logan Cucciarero with Z-Man and Carl on the blue line. Puck is dropped and we're underway. It's one back by the Barons. Bounce around. Barons are moving the other way. Carr sticks it out back into the neutral zone. The Barons collect. They turn. They fire it in the PHC zone. PHC will come behind their own net, look to play it back out. Go tape to Dylan Pacelli. It's taken out into the neutral zone by the Barons. It's picked off by Pacelli. He gains the line. Hauled down though, Carl. Carl will keep the line. Will push it back into the center seam. Picked off by the Barons, but surfed by Pacelli, and then Max Roach gets there along the boards. It's played back out. Barons are coming through the neutral zone. They'll play it into the PHC zone. Gets behind the net. Carl will stop. Push it up the boards looking for Pucciarero, but it's read by the Barons. They step down the boards. They pick it off. They put it in front. Z-Man collects. Will come out the other side. They'll put it up the boards where the Barons will get above it. Second effort by Roach and Pacelli. Push it forward. They give it to Pucciarero. Pucciarero gains the line. Fires it in on net. It's kicked aside by the Barons. Goal keep. Barons will collect. Pacelli keeps it deep. PHC's in the line change. Spittle's trying to find it. Gerberbeck collects it. Fires it in just wide. Puck is behind the Barons net. They'll try to come out the other side with it. They play it up the wall. Nooner tries to keep it. Gets past him, but Winton closes to that. Collects it. Will get his toes up. He's going to skate through the neutral zone. Fights through a check. Gets across the line. He's still going. Pulls up. Hits the skates of the Barons. Now the Barons in transition. They're going to come the other way. Tap in by Declan Spittle. Now the Barons pick it off. They're coming the other way. They're going to gain the line. Good Fazio back check. Spittle gains control. He's going to move the other way. He's going to gain the line. He fires it towards the net. Pops up, collects it, fires it in. Kick save made and hung on to by the Barons goalkeeper. So we'll have an offensive zone draw. To the right of the Barons goalie, Max Roach, between Max I, Lucas Sauer, Z-Man and Mauer out there on the points. This one's one across in front, but the Barons collect. They're going to exit the zone. They're going to drive wide, gain the red line, push it into the PHC line. PHC is going to collect it, use their own net, come back around and fought off in the corner. They center it back out in front, gets out to the far point. They fire it in. Ellie Shaw kicks to the side with the far pad, gets it out to the sideboards. We'll chip it ahead, trying to chip past. It's sealed off by the Barons. It gets out into the neutral zone. Sauer putting the pressure on, but the Barons play it. They flip that ice on us. It gets out to the far boards where Maurer will collect. Maurer thinks about putting it up the wall, but then he'll reverse it. Go D to D. We'll use our net, put up the wall. The Barons pick that one off and try to drive it down in the corner. They reverse it up to the point. They're going to fire it, gets through. In on Ellie, gets through all the way to the corner. But there was a redirected, change directions in front of the net. Stays out of the back of the net. The Barons collect. They're going to go D to D. They're going to wheel it right back up the wall. They're going to gain the line. They'll fire, keep and pull up for a partial line change. Forecheck is put on by the Barons forward. Maurer collects it, puts up the wall looking for Pucciarero. It's played back to Maurer. Now Maurer will come to the far side. He's going to reverse it around. It'll get to the hash marks. Then off the glass by Z-Man. It's pushed out into the neutral zone where Sauer puts on the forecheck. Bowers. The Barons collect. They're going to come. Carr's trying to play that pass. He's going to stick it aside coming off the bench. Witten's going to try to contain on the wall. He pushes up. Roach wears a body, but it gets out in the neutral zone. But Pacelli's trying to bulldoze through, but the Barons collect it. They're going to push it back in to the PHC end. Carr will get back behind his net. He's going to collect. He's going to leave it back for Witten. Witten will put it right up to Pucciarero. Pucciarero's trying to flip that ice. He pushes it ahead to Roachy. Roach is going to gain the line, squeeze through, pushes it into the corner. Barons get after it. Roach stays on it. Pucciarero picks it up. He comes off the sidewall with it. Goes out to the point, leaves it for Witten. Barons pick it up. They're coming the other way. They play it out into the center seam. Carr's going to pick this one off, leave it up for Roach. Roach collects, trying to chip it out into the center seam for Pacelli. Barons collect. They go D to D. They play it back across, flipping that ice on us, and now they're going to come. They hit the line with speed. Carr's there and contained. Carr blocks this one. Pacelli picks it up. He's going to try to flip it the other way. He's got Declan Spittle with him. He's going to drive down, he'll dump it deep, and now get in after the forecheck. Spittle's going to try to cut it off on the far side. Roach collects it momentarily, but the Barons recollect, recover, fire it up. It's kept in at the point by Pacelli momentarily, but then the Barons collect, and they're moving the other way. Pacelli picks a pocket. He's in. He's got one to beat. Plays it across to Pucciarero. Pucciarero plays it back to Pacelli. Spittle picks it up. Oh, good stick by the Barons. Now they're coming the other way with numbers. We got a 3-on-2 developing. They get into the zone. They cut to the center seam. They're on the forehand. They fire it in. Wide of Ellie's net. Gets up to the half wall. Pucciarero collects. He fights through a stick check. He plays out into the center seam for Pacelli. Pacelli's going to drive wide. Pushes up that boards. Cut off by the Barons, and now we're moving the other way. Barons gain the line. Spittle fights it off. Spittle collects. He'll use some extra real estate. Met by a Baron inside our zone. Maurer there to help him. Pressure and contain. Comes up the half wall. It's pushed ahead. Kept in at the point. They fire it in. That's going to get wide into the far corner. Barons get to it first, but Nooner pushes down to the center seam to Pacelli. Pacelli's looking for Gerberbeck. It's read and picked off at the line by the Barons D. Maurer will collect. Pushed up there. Turns. He walks the line. He fires. It's worn by a PHC defender. Nooner collects. He's trying to flip that ice out to Gerberbeck. It gets past, and now we're heading the other way. That's going to be whistled dead. It does not. It hits a puddle or a little bit of a frozen ice there, and it does not make the icing, so it's coming the other way. The icing's going to get there, and Carr alertly doesn't skate through that one. It lets it get across the red line. We'll come back down 200 feet for an offensive zone draw to the right of the Barons goalkeeper. Puck is dropped. It's lost on the feet. Gerberbeck collects. Gerberbeck turns. He plays it out the Roach. Stick to side by the Barons. The Barons are trying to play it out the center seam. They're going to drive down that wall. Get past Winton. Carr is there to collect and push back up, but it's kept in at the point. Gerberbeck is collision with his own player down on the ice hard, but will push it back across. Gets deep into the Barons zone. Barons will collect in the corner. Fazio puts the forecheck on. He pushes it up to Roach. Roach turns out of the corner with it. Gets his stick lifted, but he'll tie up, looking for help. Barons outnumber us on the wall. It's going to get out into the neutral zone. Carr will collect. He'll get his toes right back up. He takes a look, lets him get on side, and plays it back in. Barons collect. They push it right back up. Carr seals it off and keeps it. It's fired back in. Fazio gets after it in the far corner. He picks a pocket. He's going to come back out the other side. No, the Barons collect. They're going to push it up the wall. Gets off the wall. Roach gets above it. Now we're heading the other way. Carr's going to step to this one, trying to keep them outside the dots. They turn, they fire it up over Ellie's net. Fazio's collecting at the point. He chips past off the wall. Roach collects, and now we're heading the other way. He headmans it to Gerberbeck. Gerberbeck gains the line. He's got one to beat. He turns, he fires. Good shot selection as he was trying to fire it back far pad. Fought off by the Barons goalkeeper. Johnny Gerberbeck will collect behind the net. He's bumped off the puck. Roach gets there. He's ridden off the puck, but he pins it, looking for Gerberbeck to come in and support again. 2-on-2 battle behind that net, trying to move bodies and pucks. So now the puck is pushed free. Barons collected are coming out the other side. They'll gain it. They'll flip it back into the center seam. They're going to hit the line with speed. We got contained there. Maurer plays the body. As the Barons tried to drive through him. So Fazio collects, trying to chip it out. That puck is kept in. It's fired back in on Ellie. She'll stop it, hang on to it, and we'll have a defensive zone draw to Ellie Shaw's left. So defensive zone draw, Declan Spittle. Between Sauer and Amicio. Winton and Nooner on the back end. Barons win it back. They get it to the point in the shooting lane. They fire it around. Gets wide. Winton collects on the board. He pushes ahead. Spittle's going to gain control of this one. He's going to drive wide. He pushes it deep into the Barons zone. Barons will collect. They're going to go far. Boards rung around. Good keep. Good read by Ethan Nunez. They'll push it back. They'll regroup and come around their own cage, come out the other side. Spittle read it, gets a stick on it, and gets out of the neutral zone, but all the way through that neutral zone, he gets to Winton. Winton will collect as the puck was on edge, rolling back in. He's going to slow it down, get back behind his net, plays it to Anucciok. Anucciok turns, he fires it out into the center for Spittle. Spittle's going to gain the line, drags past one, gets past two, he turns, he fires, it hits the stick of the defender, gets into the corner, where we'll put the pressure on. Carr's going to come down that board and keep. Gets it off the boards, plays it out to Anucciok. Anucciok walks, fires it to Spittle, too far out in front of him. So the Barons will collect. They'll put it up the near boards. Anucciok comes 85 feet and keeps it live there momentarily, but they chip past. It's going to go 200 feet for the icing. So we will come back down. Offensive zone draw. To the left of the Barons goalkeeper, Max Nasty between Punciero, Dylan Pacelli, Z-Man and Carr. Roach wins this one to the sidewall, but the Barons jump and bump through that lane. They push it back down behind their own net. They're going to try to come out the other side. They collect it, get their toes up, and push it forward. It's into the neutral zone. They hit that center seam. We're back in contain. We win that puck back forward, trying to get pucks right out. Punciero collects. He's got his toes up. He one hand plays it over to Pacelli. Pacelli drags past and then met with a body check, but they're letting them play today. Good hockey play. So here we come. Barons in transition coming the other way. Hit the line with numbers, but good contain. We push them back outside, work them down to that wall, push forward. Roach collects it. Roach is going to move this one up. He's going to try to gain the line. He's got one to beat. He stayed on sides. Punciero trying to collect and drag past through. Pushes it in the corner. Pacelli will get to this one. He'll push it back up the wall, but the Barons jump it and get in front of it and pick it off, and now we're coming the other way. They push it deep down, but from the wrong side of the red line, but waved off as there was a Play on the puck by PHC. So Maurer will play it back D to Noonan behind his own cage. Noonan will collect. He's trying to flip that ice across the center seam there. Hits a stick. Gets out to the near wall. Kept in at the point. Thrown back in. Collected by Nathan Nunez. He'll come out the other side. Good stick by the Barons as we were trying to get a leaking Pucciarero up ice. But the Barons collect. They re-enter the zone. They get down into the corner. Walk around. Go out to the point. Too hot to handle. Gets out into the neutral zone. So now Spittle will get on it. Spittle's trying to find that puck as it was fumbled. Recovers. Kept active. But played in offsides. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off just outside of the Barons bench. Puck is dropped. Played back ahead. Winton pushes us forward. Gerbeck trying to step past, but he's pinned off at the boards. Puck battle ensues. It's pushed back up the wall where Winton collects. He'll go D to Carr. Carr will get his toes up. He's trying to find Fazio. Gets to the Fazio. Fazio's got a step. He gains the line. He's got Spittle coming with him. He's tackled, but we're going to let it go. We're pushing forward. Carr will challenge at the red line. They'll dump it in. Whistle dead for an icing. So we're going to come all the way back down. As the Cleveland fans, I don't think understand the rule of icing, but if you fire the puck from the north side, your own side of the red line, it's certainly an icing. So we'll have a offensive zone draw to the left of the Barons goalkeep. Declan Spittle out between Johnny G, Joshua Fazio, Carr, and Winton on the points here. Referee pushes him back. Spittle wins at the Carr. Carr will play it down in the corner looking for Fazio. Fazio plays it back out in front and hits the side of the net. He was looking for Gerbeck on that back post. It's played out up the wall on the far side. Gets past Winton. Spittle's on the back check. He's got Carr in contain. So Spittle will take it around the net. He rings it hard. Fazio will get back to get that one. Tries to play it out in that neutral zone. Gerbeck reads the lane, forces him back down the wall where Fazio will pick it off. He gets past. He's got a 3-on-1 developing. Gerbeck falls, but plays it to Spittle. Spittle plays it back, unable to get good wood on it, but good puck movement, trying to force them to defend and goalkeep moving east to west, as we talked about it. Playing laterally is tough to do on the defensive side of the puck, so good puck movement. Unfortunate edge blown at the wrong time. Z-Man will collect, try to leak up that near boards, but doesn't like what he sees, so he'll reverse it back down behind his net to his defensive partner. Gerbeck chips it off the boards, gets out in the neutral zone, but it's collected by the Barons, and now they'll push it forward. They find Joshua Fazio sitting at the far blue line. He's trying to drag past. It's fought off by the Barons defender. Thrown the other way. That's not going to have enough for the icing. Barons fight through. They weekend fired off the side of the net as Ellie was out challenging. Fired back on the back of the net. That puck is on the net. Chomping at the net. The referees give them a chance to pop it off the net, but does not get free. So whistle's blown. We'll have a defensive zone play. Face off. To Ellie's right. Roachy, a.k.a. Nasty, out between Anutsiuk and Sauer. Winton and Nooner. Roachy wins this one, then collects it himself. He's going to get his toes up ice. I'm trying to stay ahead of this drive. He drives down the near wall, chips it in. Anutsiuk picks it up, trying to play it to the net, but good pass to the puck by the back-checking Baron. They throw it up. It's kept in at the point. Big Mike Winton, the Jersey barrier, keeps that live. Puck is bouncing around. It's behind the Barons net. We'll look to play this back out. The near boards, they hit the center seam. It gets through. Nunez will get back to collect it. He'll use his own cage. Ring it around for Anutsiuk. Anutsiuk trying to collect that puck. But the Barons seal it off and push it back into the corner. We're outnumbering them for momentarily, but now it's a 2-on-2 battle. Pile in the corner. Trying to move the pile. So the whistle is, they're letting them play. I guess they see puck movement. The puck does come free. The Barons collect. They'll walk back down into the corner. They're trying to play it back out in front. Good actual net front contained by Michael Winton. Good stick in the passing lane. He plays it back out, but it's played back in. Gets all the way through. Roach will collect this on the far side. He's going to skate this one out. Plays it out into the center seam looking for Sauer. But the Barons are going to collect. They're going to wheel it up the other way. Puck battle, challenge at the red line. They'll play it in. No icing. 3, 2, 1. They play it out in center, but the horn sounds. It's fired in after the horn. Should be an unsportsmanlike. Well after the horn. So that should be a minor. They won't give it to him, but they're talking to him, right? They're going to give him the warning. Looks like we have a more experienced crew than we've had several other games this weekend. So the referees trying to keep control. Stay with us. We're knotted up at 0. We'll be back for the second frame inside of 120 seconds. All righty. Goaltenders switch creases. Flip ends for the second period. We're coming back live action. Declan Spittle between Dylan Pacelli, Logan Quintrero, Carr Maurer on the back end to start this period. We need to be aggressive. We got to want the puck. Got to play a complete game here. Puck is dropped. We jump through the lane. They push it forward. The Barons will collect just north of their own blue line, push it back forward. Carr rides it. Baron into the referee. Maurer will collect behind their own net. He runs into the Baron or two. Plays it back. Pacelli gets it. He chips it out. It's Keppin at the point. Pacelli collects. He's going to drive up the wall, trying to chip past and collect it. He gets through. He gains the line, but met by a stick. We're trying to find that puck as it bounces around. We're trying to chip forward. It'll be played back in. Maurer will get to this one. Throws the brakes on and tries to come back up the boards. Little chip past. It's Keppin at the point. They fire it back down. That's going to get all the way around the cage. Come up the other side here. Maurer will play it to Punchero. Punchero trying to chip it out in the neutral zone. It's kept in by the Barons. Maurer will go far side. He fires that 85 feet off the boards. It bounces off the boards. Kick back to his skates by Pacelli. Gets too far out in front. The Barons trying to turn up, but Pacelli fights through it, keeps it deep. But the Barons now collect. They're going to look to skate this one out. They'll get across the red, across the blue. Declan Spittle on the back check, able to cut that one off, and Michael Witten has a stick in the passing lane. Gets it out into the neutral zone, forcing the Barons to regroup. It's read by Dylan Pacelli. We got numbers coming the other way. He plays it across to Punchero. Punchero trying to put it back to Pacelli. Read by the back-checking Baron. Gets a stick in the lane, but Punchero picks a pocket. He turns up. Gets back behind the net. He'll set it up. He gets back to the forehand. Flips it out, looking to get it out in front, getting it to the point, but hits a body and gets out into the neutral zone. Collected by Ethan Nunez. Ethan Nunez will chip off the boards. The Barons looking to collect this one and move it back quickly into the PHC zone. Ethan Nunez will find it. He'll use his own net. Allows Michael Witten to collect on the far side. Witten trying to play it out to Spittle. Stick to side, and now puck battles ensuing along the wall. You got Witten and Fazio in there trying to find it. Spittle collects. He pushes it ahead to Gerberbeck. Gerberbeck exits the zone. Plays it back across to Fazio. Fazio's going to gain the line on sides. Barons collect. We're going to come out the far side. It's going to get past our pinching defenseman, and now we're coming the other way. Good recovery by Ethan Nunez. 2-on-1 developing. Carr gets a stick on it, fights it off, and Max Roach coming 85 feet the other way off the bench. Gets a stick on it and clears the zone to get that one out of harm's way. It's deep into the Barons zone. Barons will collect behind their own net. They play it back up the wall. Gets past the pinching Gerberbeck. They play it 55 out to the other side. They flip that ice on us. They'll enter the zone. They'll dump it in. Z-Man will get this behind his own net. He's going to throw the brakes on. He's going to go D to Carr. Carr will set it up and go back to him. And now we're going to try to find Fazio. Wow, they throw it to Gerberbeck. Gerberbeck's got Fazio on the other, trying. The buck rolls up over his stick, and the Barons collect, and they're coming the other way. They fire it in. It's kicked aside by Ellie Shaw. Carr gets a stick on it. He hits and pins, allowing Zabisky to get this one in the corner. He's going to try to flip that ice. Picked off by the Barons, and now we're coming the other way. Carr trying to get over. It's blockered aside by Ellie, trying to find it. It's in the feet, sticked away, pushed out back, but it's kept up to the point. They roll it back down the wall. It's collected by the Barons in the corner. They'll play it back across, and that's going to get out past the far point. Fazio will put a forecheck on, trying to cut it off in the neutral zone. They force it back in quickly into the PHC zone. Max Roach will collect this one, and now he's looking to get a burst of speed and get out, but he's met by a poke check. Stopped at the hash marks. Trying to get this puck. Roach kicks it ahead. Deposited it to his breezers, but the refs are letting him play. So Carr's going to collect. He's going to put it back around. Cut off by the Barons. They'll push it back into their corner. Gerberbeck will collect. We've got to get it quicker touch out to that center seam. But the Barons are going to collect and wear. Carr wears this one off the shin pads. Fazio collects, and now we're heading the other way. He's going to flip this ice over to Gerberbeck, but it's picked off, and now we're coming the other way. So Fazio able to pick a pocket and come back in. He gains the line. He's got his heads up. He's got his toes up. Trying to dangle in, met by some resistance, and now we're coming the other way. We're caught in a line change. Our defenseman had to get across the ice quickly, and Ethan Nunez did just that. Stops them from getting a free entry in our zone. Now Roach picks it off in the neutral zone. He's going to drive wide. He fires it across looking for Fazio. Gets out. It's knocked aside by the Barons defender, and no ringing up the wall. Kept in by Billy Maurer. Pushes it down in the corner, and the Barons will recollect and come out the far side. They're going to look to flip that out into the center seam. Going to get through. Maurer will go back. He'll collect it. He'll use some extra real estate. He'll get back behind Ellie's cage. He throws the brakes on. Presents like he's going to pass that way, and then he'll reverse it back the other way. He finds Lucas Sauer wide open on that far board. He's going to get out in the neutral zone. He's going to escape this one. Gets across the red line. He fires it in. And Nutsiuk will put the initial pressure on, force him around the net. Spittle's trying to get above it. But they play ahead. It's kept in by Ethan Nunez. Nutsiuk gets back above it to support. But it's pushed up the wall. Nutsiuk plays it to Spittle. Spittle walks the line. He walks in. He turns. He fires. It's gloved and held on to by the Barons goalkeeper. So we'll have an offensive zone draw. To the right of the Barons goalkeeper. 8:39 left in the second period. Big shout out goes to, as they're probably moving through the middle of Pennsylvania, Luca DiGaetano, who had a fresh Phillies lid on this weekend. Had a good weekend himself. So shout out to Luca if you're listening. Keep out on, bud. So we're back. I digress. Pacelli's putting the forecheck on. It gets out into the center seam. Carr steps. He's trying to push it forward. Roach collects. He turns. He fires. Hits the shin pads of a Baron, and now the Barons are coming the other way. They have numbers. Carr's going to surf the play. He gets a stick on it. Stops the progression. But the Barons collect. They play it back forward. Now Witten pushes that forward, and now Pacelli's going to try to get through traffic. Picked off and coming the other way. Contreras will surf this one. Push back out into the neutral zone. It's going to go 85 feet. Barons are going to collect. They're going to hit the line with numbers. Surf by Pacelli. He pushes it forward, but it's pinned in and kicked out into the neutral zone by Max Roach, as he's a talented soccer player as well. So he's got good feet work. But the Barons are going to collect this bouncing puck. It's going to get up off a stick. I thought it went into the bench. They say it stays live. It's played back across. Good challenge by Michael Witten. The Barons will come down, walk down on that wall. They walk into the corner. Try to play it back out in front. Carr will lift the stick, step to this one. He'll push it to the far corner. Gets up to the half wall where Pacelli will hit and pin. Roach is going to challenge behind the net. They play it out to the point. They turn, they fire. It's kicked aside by Ellie. She gets back, and they fire it up and over Ellie's cage. But good shift, moving east to west, and then west to east. They play it back down the wall. Carr's going to challenge in the corner. Collects. He pushes it up the wall to Pacelli. Pacelli's going to collect this. He pushes it ahead down the wall. Gets out in the neutral zone. Cucharero gets across. He's trying to pick the pocket. It's played back ahead. And now the Barons hit the line with numbers. They play it back across. They fire it in. It gets wide Ellie's net. Good contain. Good stick by Michael Winton. He collects it. He puts it up the wall. He gives it to Pucciarero. Puccierero's got an option to try to drive the middle. He leaves it for Pacelli. He gets through. He's fighting through. It's a 1-on-4, 1-on-5 as PHC was in the line change, and now they're coming the other way with a seam. They turn, they fire. It's blocker to side by Ellie. Maurer will try to chip this up the wall as the Barons were going for a change, but they seal it off, keep it in the zone. They keep it in at the point. The blue line is in, so that's a good keep. Spittle will collect on the near boards. He's going to leave it back up the boards for Fazio. We're not moving to pucks, so we're waiting and drifting, but we get it out into the neutral zone. It's chipped back in. Maurer will step to this one, calls defensive partner off. He's going to reverse it back off the end wall. We'll turn up onto the forehand. He plays it up to Fazio. Fazio's going to leak out into that center seam. He gives it to Gerberbeck. Gerberbeck has a step. It's a 3-on-3 as they hit the line. Gerberbeck will put it deep. Spittle will get in on the forecheck. Force them to come up the wall with it. It's going to be read by Millie Maurer, who shields it off, uses his big frame of his to keep it live in the zone, forcing him to come back out the other way. To wrap it around the far wall. Gets out, but it's kept by Winton. Plays it back out in the center. It's read by the Barons defenseman, and now they're moving forward. The Fazio picks a pocket. It's coming the other way. Spittle's trying to bulldoze through. He pushes it ahead, leaves it for Gerberbeck. Gerberbeck gets in. Met by a poke check. Fazio plays it towards the net. It gets wide. Spittle will collect. Look to go to work from Gretzky's office. He'll put it behind the net into the far corner. Where Fazio will collect. He'll pull back down on the half wall, get back into the corner. Spittle's going to meet them, forcing them to play it up the wall. Nooner will step to that 50-50 puck. He's battling 1-on-3. Got the support above him. Spittle picks it off. He leaves it for Fazio or Winton at the point. Gets through, but Fazio collects. He'll fire it back in. Tip drill by Declan Spittle. It's pushed out to the point. Winton collects. Doesn't get good wood on it, but he'll try to get back defensive side of it. It's pushed out into the neutral zone. Nunez will get to this one first. He's going to use the big frame of his to win that puck battle. He'll come around his net. He's got toes up trying to catch them in a line change. So he plays it out in the neutral zone to Fazio. Fazio's going to gain the line. He's got 3 with him. Drops it to Spittle. Gets through. And the guys coming off the bench able to come back, pick it off, and now we're transitioning the other way. We're going to push this forward. Carr will challenge at the blue line, plays it back ahead. Spittle collects. He's got Gerberbeck ahead of him. He finds him. Gerberbeck's got Fazio going back post. He's trying to play it across. It's off a stick. And now poked back in by Declan Spittle. Battle ensues in the corner. It's pushed back up the wall. They're going to collect this, play it back across into the center seam. They're going to challenge here. They're going to step down the lane, try to push him back outside the dots. Good challenge. PHC will collect behind their own net. But the Barons are going to walk it out of the corner, back out in front. Cut off by Z-Man and push back up. That gets out of the neutral zone on the bounce. And the referee blows it dead for the automatic offsides. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off. Felt like we hadn't had a stoppage in eternity there. 3:37 left in the second period. Max Nasty out between Sauer and Anuncio. Maurer and Nooner on the back end now. Barons fire this one back in. They're going to put it around the wall. Nooner will collect this in the near corner. Pushes up the wall to Anuncio. Anuncio finds Roach. Roach collects this on the forehand. Trying to play it across for Sauer. Doesn't get through the sea of red there. And now the Barons are coming the other way with it. They're going to drive wide. Good contain. Good stick by Billy Maurer. Hits the side of the cage. Bounces out in front. We're trying to find it. Sauer will step to this. He'll turn up. He'll put it up the wall. But the Barons able to get above it. Keep it back in. Maurer will reverse this to himself. Plays it out in the soft ice. D to D. Nunez will go back to him. Maurer will now turn up. Will play it on the forehand. Looking for Sauer. But Barons able to jump that lane. They play it back across the goal mouth. It gets to the near boards where Hernichuk will collect. He plays it out to Max Roach. Max Roach gets his head up, gets his toes up. He's dumped, and we're not going to call it. We're playing real hockey today. The referees are letting them play. So now the Barons collect on the far wall. They'll try to exit the zone they're playing. They'll look to play it out into the center seam. Good contained by Michael Winton. They'll dump it in. It'll come far around Ellie's cage. Nunez will get there. He'll play it right up to Anuncio. Anuncio collects, trying to hit a leaking Pucciarero in the neutral zone, but there was 4 red helmets in between him and Pucciarero, so they jump the lane, they keep it in, they get into the zone, they step back out in front. Ellie stays tall, noses the puck and makes the save. It's played up, it's cut off and kept in by the Barons. The Barons pushing behind the cage. Winton will collect. They'll play it to Pucciarero. Puccierero's going to just chip this one out. That's not going to have enough legs for icing, so a foot race ensues. We'll take the opportunity for a line change. Pucciarello lays someone out. They're letting them play today, ladies and gentlemen. So the Barons zigzagging through the neutral zone. Step off sides. Maybe one too many left to right steps. But bodies are hitting the floor, and the referees are letting them play. Puck bounces around. Spittle will chip this off the wall. Pucciarello tries to get to it. Following it up is Pacelli. Pacelli drags through the feet, turns, he fires. Gloved and held on to as the Barons made a goaltender change that I missed at some point. They had one game on the day. So it looks like they're splitting the time, but Pacelli fires it in. Fought off with the catch glove. So we'll have an offensive zone draw to the left of the Cleveland goaltender. Spittle's trying to win this. The Pacelli gets it back to Z-Man at the point. We'll walk it down. We'll throw it into the corner. Pucciarello trying to collect and leave it for Pacelli. What the Barons collect, they're going to play it back across into that center seam. They're driving in. Car will continue. Will force them back outside the dots. Challenge back at the top of the house. It's played back on the center seam. It's picked off by Pacelli. And now Pacelli's moving the other way. Pacelli gets across the red. Presents a pass. Leaves it for Spittle. Spittle fires it in. Stick aside by the Barons goalkeeper. Push back down in the corner by Pucciarello. Pacelli bulldozes through. He's trying to play it back out into the center seam, but the Barons collect. Puck is loose. Pucciarello trying to find it. He's on his backhand. Will reverse back up to the forehand. No, he kicks back to his backhand. Now a reverse to the forehand. Spittle's trying to help him. Spittle's looking to go to the point, but it's read by the Barons, and now we're coming the other way. Billy Maurer and Ethan Nunez are back in contain. Maurer will challenge. Will fire it in. It's kicked aside by Ellie Shaw. Maurer will collect this. He's going to go behind his net. Pucciarello will step to this. Leaves it for Nunez. Nunez will join the rush. Gets out in the neutral zone. Puts it ahead. Collected by the Barons just inside their own zone. Pushed back into the PHC zone. Maurer goes D to Nooner. Nooner flips the ice back to Pacelli. And now Pacelli's got a step. We got numbers if we hurry. It's a 3-on-3 actually. They play it back across the Spittle. Spittle trying to collect it. Red jerseys poke it away, and now we're coming back the other way. Pacelli's in the back pressure. Maurer understands he's got the support. He steps to it, and now Maurer's going to try to transition. He finds Declan Spittle waiting at the far blue line. Fires it in. The horn sounds. We'll go into the second frame. Knotted up at 0. So we'll have one more period of hockey for the weekend. And we're looking for a hard-fought battle as we talk about our journey on learning how to win games. It's a process. It's a grind. Look for puck movement, puck possession in this third period. Trying to make them defend east to west. Hang with us. We'll be back for a third period of action here shortly. All right, we're back for the sixth and final period of the day. Comes down to 1 14-minute period. Roche between Fazio, Gerberback. Puck is dropped. We're underway. It's pushed back. Winton will step to this one. Recollects, tries to fire it forward. It's off a shin pad, but he recollects, recovers, plays it with Fazio, who will dump this in, and Roche will get in on the chase. Right up the wall. Fazio trying to find it. They get past them. Get out into the neutral zone. Carr will try to step to this and pick it off. Gets through, but Witten's there to contain. He'll push him back outside the dots. Ellie sees it the whole way. She'll squeeze it and hang on to it. So we're starting to recognize we need a challenge earlier. Understand the support system. Barons are doing good, making us defend laterally on their zone entries. I would like to see a little bit of improvement by our PHC players on the east to west and trying to hit that weak side. So Gerberbeck will collect this one. He's going to push it out to Roach. Roach is going to get his toes up. He's going to try to go. He's met by a stick. Gerberbeck will regain control, push it in momentarily, but it gets back out in the neutral zone. We collect and throw it right back down the same boards. The Barons are going to collect. They're going to come out the other side. They throw it over, but it's cut off by Maurer. Puck battle ensues. Barons poke past. They get it into the PHC line. They drive into the middle. Good challenge by Ethan Nunez. It gets him in the corner. They'll go up the wall. It's picked off by the Barons and thrown back down in the corner. Puck carrier and Nunez fall. It's played back in. It's going to come to the far side. No harm. Maurer buries someone. So that's a body check. And that's certainly going to be called. So louder than the actual contact. Goes into the boards. Hard. So we'll go man down here. Defensive zone draw to the right of Miss Shaw. Pacelli, Sauer, Z-Man, and Carr on the penalty kill. Pacelli will win this to the unmarked man on the wall. We'll go back to we'll go down to the Kepin, forcing them, good poke check, but just force them to play in the soft ice, contain your box. It's going to get out to the point. You play it back down and move to the corner. Keeping them outside. Carr will challenge. Fires in, it gets wide. It's going to be played up off the wall, gets out of the neutral zone. They're going to flip the ice. They'll come back the other way. Trying to enter the line. They're challenged by Pacelli. They'll gain the line. So we'll walk behind the net with it. They're trying to set up. They play it back out in front. Ellie stayed with it. She made the save. Pacelli's going to get this one out of harm's way. He'll go off the glass, but that's going to be kept in at the point. They'll push it back down the wall. Carr will step to this. He's going to go hard around. It's going to be picked up at the far point. We'll push it back down the wall, met by a challenging PHC defender. Pacelli will challenge the point. It's pushed back in. It's kicked aside. They walk out in front. They play it back towards Ellie Shaw, going east to west. Gets her mitt and her pad on it and able to make a huge stop. So that's Ellie Shaw standing tall. Big time stop. That's what you need on a penalty kill. So that should give us a spark here. Losing our box. There's a different philosophy. We're trying to set up in a disciplined box, but it looks like we overpressured the puck a little bit. They played it back through, but the last line of defense, that wall, Miss Shaw makes the save. The Barons win it back. It's fired in. Kicked aside by Ellie Shaw. Declan Spittle will collect this one. He's going to play it ahead to Pucciarero. Pucciarero's going to skate this out of the zone. He's going to get to the red line. He'll chip it forward. And now he'll put the forecheck on, force him back behind the net. Barons will try to flip that ice, 85 feet, and they're going to gain. They're going to come through the neutral zone with speed and numbers, but we kill that one up. We're even strength. Declan Spittle picks the puck up. He's got Pacelli with him. He's got Pucciarero going with him. He plays it to Pucciarero. Pucciarero plays it back to him. We're going to leak into that zone. Spittle's over. He plays it across. Pucciarero buries that one. Oh, that was in the back of the net. They're going to say crossbar, but it hit back bar. They do not have a pad on it. We'll have to freeze frame that one and show you the review, but either way, they wave it off, and now we're going to go to Carr, and now he's going to play it back across to Pucciarero. Pucciarero's trying to flip it again to Spittle. Sorry, I'm caught watching the play and not moving the camera, but the Barons are going to collect it, and they're going to play it back out in the neutral zone. It's going to be played ahead, covered by PHC. We'll go back off the end boards. Carr will cover at the half wall. He's looking to play it ahead to Pacelli. It's picked by the Barons, they turn, they fire it in, it gets wide in the corner. Uses the glass, tap in at the point. Oh, it gets out of the neutral zone. Pucciarello plays it to Pacelli. Pacelli's going to gain the line. He's going to turn. He's going to try to drag through the feet. Good contained by the Barons. Carr will collect it, keep it active. But the Barons try to force it out in the second effort. They do, but they're met by Pucciarello and Spittle, who plays it back in the neutral zone, or into the Baron zone. They're going to jump it back out in the neutral zone. They're going to gain the PHC line. They're pushed into the corner. Puck battle on the near wall. Roche in there to help as we made a line change there in that last transition. Barron's trying to find it. They push it out into the center seam. They turn, they fire. In on Ellie. She fights it off with her glove. Roche collects it and gets it out of harm's way. It's fired back in. That's going to roll wide. Nunez will collect it. Try to bring it back behind his own cage. Plays it to Maurer. It's off of Maurer's feet, but he's able to recover, chip it forward to Pacelli. Pacelli's got one to beat. He gets past him, and now we have a 3-on-1 developing. He gets into the line. He turns. He fires up and off the glass and then hit the netting above that glass. So that gets up high. But good pressure. 3-on-1. That puck may have rolled up on him as he was loading up. Uncontested, so it'll come outside the zone for a neutral zone face-off. So Roche between Fazio, Gerberbeck, Winton, and Carr. Roche looking to win this one back. It's stuck in the Fazio's feet. The Barons will jump. Carr will challenge at the blue line. They push through. Good back check by Max Roach. Max Roach now ties up in the corner. Carr's there to win that one. He's going to hit and pin. Leaves the puck for Fazio. Fazio's trying to flip it out in the center seam looking for Roach, but it's picked off and played back in. They play it back across the house. It hits a pair of skates, and now we're coming the other way. Roach, Fazio, and Gerberbeck. It's a 3-on-2 developing. Roach is going to drive through. He's going to drive wide. He's on the forehand. He's met by a Baron defender, and he's knocked off the puck. Now we're coming the other way. They get back above it. They play it forward. That should be whistled dead for an icing. And that'll go 200 feet for the ice. We'll come back down, offensive zone draw to the right of the Barons goalkeep. Looking to get some pucks to the net. Followed by some bodies to the net. Roach looking to win this one back. He'll put it to the point. Maurer will walk, will go D to D. Tipped and fired back in. Hits Fazio in the breezers, changes direction. Gets wide. Gerberbeck will turn up in the near corner. Play it behind the net to Fazio. Fazio's going to receive it. Going to walk back up. Try to play it to the point. Goes D to D. Maurer's going to walk. He's got a lot of white ice in front of him. He turns. He fires. Warned by a defender in front. Gets back out to the point. Turns, cranks. Warned by another Baron. Doing everything they can, and now they play it ahead. They leak it forward. Maurer's going to be there. He's going to try to decide. They force him out. They fire it in. Let Ellie have the shot. She takes it the whole way. Now PHC's trying to gain the line. They flip it forward to Gerberbeck. Gerberbeck will chive in. He drops it for Roche. Roche plays it back to Gerberbeck. Gerberbeck turns, fires, gets up and over the cage as it hit a stick on the way in. Fazio will collect it. Will put it back down behind the net. Gerberbeck meets a Baron behind the net. We get away with one there. Barons are looking to come the other way. They play it forward. Nunez cuts it off, removes a stick from the Barons, and now a puck battle ensues. Gerberbeck loses a stick. So Spittle tries to jump in, but it's chipped back forward. Nooner will collect it inside the own zone. He'll get it out to the side wall where Winton will collect. He's going to opt to come back to the far side. Nooner chips it ahead to Nichuk, and Nichuk gets it out in the center zone. It hits a stick that was down on the ice, and now the Barons are coming the other way. We'll push it back outside the dots. It'll get into the corner. The Barons collect. They're looking to come out the other side of the cage. Read well by Ellie Shaw. She gets her pad on that post. Stays strong with the core muscles. It's fired back across. Challenged by Anichiuk, but the puck's left in the house. Fires. They collect it by the Barons. Good stick by Michael Winton. Calmly poking that one away. Fazio collects. He tries to find Anichiuk on the far side. It's going to get ahead. Anichiuk will put the pressure on. Try to force him up back to near wall where Spittle was sitting forward at the hash mark. We'll push it down in the corner. Anuccio gets knocked off his feet, but in the process takes the Baron down with him, trying to play from his feet or from his knees and win the battle, but outnumbered, and the Barons are pushing it the other way. They get in the neutral zone. Carr will challenge. He pokes, misses, but good back check by Lucas Sauer. Now Carr will put the pressure on. He gets a stick on it. They play it D to D. Anuccio's going to try to challenge. They play it back in. It's fired back in. Stick to side by Sauer. Now Sauer's going to move the other way. He's trying to find Anuccio out in that center seam. He does. Anuccio's trying to gain the line. He's called from behind, dumped to his breezers, and now they're moving the other way. In transition, we have Maurer and Z-Man back. They turn, they fire. Ellie hangs onto it. Sees the line drive, fired in the whole way. Catches it. Freezes it. And now we'll have a defensive zone draw to the left of Miss Shaw. Contreras gains this one. He's going to walk out in the neutral zone. He's on a 1-on-4. But he gets to those dots. It rolls off the stick at the end there. Good hustle, good zone entry. Barons will collect. Push it out. Stepping at the point by Billy Maurer. Push back down that near wall. Barons will now try to come behind their own net and come out the other side. They play it out. Good first pass. They play it right back out in that center seam. It's picked off by Pacelli at the top. He plays it ahead to Puncero. Puncero turns. He fires. Gloved and hung on to by the Barons goalkeeper. So we'll have an offensive zone draw to the left of the Barons goalie. 5:16 left in this one. Max Nasty, L-Dog and the money man up front. Max Nasty wins this to himself. He puts it back across the goal mouth, gets out to the far wall where the Barons will collect. They're trying to hit that center seam, but it's picked off by Pacelli. Pacelli plays it back across for Puncero, but poked the side, gets it out of way, but Rochi then collects and plays it back deep in behind the net where Pacelli will collect in the far corner. He's going to reverse up, tries to hit a 10-2. Barons knock him off the puck, but Roach picks a pocket. He keeps it, and now will opt to regroup in the neutral zone. He's waiting to get back on sides. Roach will drive in. He's bumped off the puck, looking for support. Barons chip forward. Play it back out into the center. Winton will be there. Winton trying to chip it forward, but the Barons are going to collect. They're going to play it back across. It's going to get through. Carr will collect. Will get onto his forehand. He's trying to play it up for Roach. Roach chips it off the wall, gets out into the neutral zone, trying to find that puck. Puncero collects it. We're going to be onside. He leaves it for Pacelli. Pacelli gets in, turns, he fires, rebound, opportunity. Backhanded in, just gets wide. He collects the rebound himself behind the net, and he's 1-on-2. Barons are going to collect it. They're going to chip it up the wall. They're going to walk out into the neutral zone and play it back across to the center. Winton will collect this one. He's going to get his toes up right away. Nope. Opts to sell it with his toe caps. Come back behind the net. He reverses the Carr. Carr will collect. He's going to go off the glass. Gets out into the neutral zone. Pucciarello trying to chip past the last defender there. Gets it ahead for Roach. Roach has won the beat. He's on his backhand. Drives wide. Will reverse up. Steps out into the center. Gets through out to the far wall. But now the Barons collect. They meet Billy Maurer at the point. He keeps it. He fires it back in. And now Pucciarello will collect in the corner. Walk up the wall. The Barons cut it off and they chip it forward. They got numbers in the neutral zone. Oh no, Declan Spittle was back there sitting above it in support. So Maurer gets to it, but he loses an edge. Gets into the corner. Spittle's there in support. Able to support that puck and push it back forward. Now they'll reverse it back behind their own net. Z-Man will get there. Trying to chip it up those boards. Gets to Pacelli. Puck is ping-pong around the board. They get it ahead. Good stick by Declan Spittle. He chips it forward, gets out into the neutral zone. Barons will collect. They're going to turn. They're going to come right back in on that near wall. Look, go D to D here. Maurer will collect. Trying to play it forward. Gets out into the neutral zone. Barons pick it off, and they're looking to come the other way with it. Couple fancy moves in the neutral zone to gain the line. They play it back across the top of the house. They turn, they fire. Stick to side by the weak side defender, who will collect. Will work back behind his own net. Will reverse up. Gets his pocket pick, but Mauer's there in support. He plays it forward. It hits Johnny Gerbevec in the breezer, unable to collect it and try to play it ahead. So the Barons force it back in the PHC zone. Maurer will collect this one. Come around the back of his own net. Good forehand pass to Gerbevec. Gerbevec's going to play it back out in the center for Spittle. Spittle's got Fazio ahead of him. He's knocked off the puck, and now they play it ahead, and we're calling a defensive line change. So a foot race will ensue. Michael Winton closes that gap, gets there, trying to chip it ahead. Push back down into the corner. Spittle will bump him off the puck. Trying to work this one. Winton's hauled down. Barons come out the other side. They play it ahead. It gets out into the neutral zone. Fazio in the foot race. The Barons collect, and they're coming back the other way. They're going to enter the line to turn. They fire. Gets a body. A lot of bodies hit the ice. So the Barons collect. They fire, and Ellie stands tall, doing her job. As there was a lot of bodies on the ice there. Self-inflicted. 1:42 left of the defensive zone draw to the left of Miss Shaw. So defensive zone draw here. Max Nasty between Pacelli and Pucciarero. Carr and Z-Man on the back end. Barons win this one out to the slot. They turn, they fire. It hits a blue jersey. Pacelli will collect and tries to chip it up, but it's kept in at the point and pushed back down the wall. We'll come back up that same wall. It's kept again, but Roach and Pacelli there to try to force out of the neutral zone. They do. It gets out to Pacelli. Pacelli's going to try to get up. He's on the forehand. He'll reverse back up. He's challenged at the top of that circle. Puck bounces out into that center seam, but Barons collect, and they're going to flip it back. They're going to wear this one, and they're going to skate through the neutral zone. They try to flip it back across. Good challenge by Carr. Pucciarero collects. He's bumped off the puck. They find it on the second effort, but the PHC will collect, recover, get it off the glass and into the neutral zone. But the Barons will collect. They'll flip the ice on us, and then they'll hit the center seam. They're going to enter the line with speed. They come in. Carr sticks to the side, forces him into the corner. He's going to get there. He's going to hit and pin. Pacelli's trying to help him. Roach is trying to help him. Roach collects the puck. Roach is trying to push it forward. It's one off by the Barons. They drive across the goal mouth, and Ellie Shaw gets her toe cap on it and kicks it out. But it's kept in at the point. Carr will try to meet him at the far post. It's played back across. Good stick, good recovery here, but we're running around. Sustained pressure being kept in by the Barons. They walk off the wall with it. They leave it to the guy at the top of the house. They play it back across. We have that front contain. They play it wide. Roach will collect this one. He's going to put it behind the net. It'll get into the corner. Z-Man will collect. Will push it up the wall to Pucciarero. Pucciarero trying to chip it past. The Barons trying to work back down into the corner. And now they're going to call it. And then there's a return trip. Not going to call that one. But the puck is going to be touched. 1.4 seconds left. So there's 1.4 seconds left. We will have a defensive zone draw to the left of Ellie Shaw. So the Barons will opt with 1.4 seconds left. There's not enough time to get that puck 200 feet in the back of the net. So they're going to put a sixth man out. They're going to stack it and try to get a shot on net. No shot here, boys. No shot. Max, win that puck. Max Roach falls, kicks to the side. It's fired in. Ellie scoops it up. So the horn sounds. 0-0 tie. After the third period, so we're out celebrating. It looks like we will line up. We're not sure. Yep, and the Zamboni doors are open, so it ends in a 0-0 tie. So that is 12 periods of tied hockey against the Barons, the host. So we want to welcome or thank them for welcoming us into the arena this weekend and hosting the showcase. Wish them luck the rest of the way, and we'll see them later in this year. But good job all the way around. Good fight, good battle. Thanks for listening. Stay with us, and we'll tune in from our home rink next week. Thank you.